Hello viewers, my name is Faisal Shafi and you are watching Horror Toon Scary Stories. Viewers, today's story topic is The Last Ride of Mother Birds. A desert road at dusk. The story begins with a soft breeze howling through a crooked row of trees, leaning a forgotten country road. It's dusk. The last trace of sunlight spills over the distant hills, casting long shadows across the earth. Car headlights slice through the dark, revealing a dusty road sign. Welcome to Grim Hollow, 12 miles. Inside a weathered South sits Amara, a 30-year-old single mother, her eyes fixed on the road. In the back seat, her 9-year-old son Milo dozes off, clutching a worn-out stuffed wolf. They are on their way to a rental house, cheap, out of town, and isolated. Amara hums quickly to ease her nerves, but her voice trembles. Something feels off. The GPS keeps losing signal. The road looks darker than it should. She glances in the rear view mirror, and for a moment, she sees someone sitting next to Milo, a pale face staring straight ahead. But when she jacks her head back, it's gone. The house at Green Hollow. They arrive at the house, a two-story wooden structure with group structure and ivy straddling the chimney. The place was supposed to be restored but looked like it's been forgotten for decades. The key was left under a stone old statue by the porch. Inside, the walls are cold, not the kind of cold you feel from missing heat, but the kind that she seeps into your bones. Amara turns on the light. It flickers, then steadies. They settle in. Milo explores with a flashlight. He finds a locked door at the end of the upstairs hallway. It rattles when touched. Someone or something's on the other side knocks back. Nightfall whispers at 3 a.m. Amara is woken by the sound of music box playing. She follows the sound in Milo's room. He is sitting up in the bed, eyes wide open, staring at the wall. She said, "We used to live here, Mom, before I was born." She said, "You made a mistake." Amara heard saying, "Who said that, baby?" Milo points to the corner of the room, but there is nothing there. Then the closest door creaks open by itself. Flashback and the house history. Amara begins to investigate the house past through an old journal found in the attic. She learns the house once belonged to a midwife named Eliza Morgan, who was accused of child sacrifice during the famine of 1863. They said she made a deal with paranormal activities, not of this world, in exchange for food, long life, and power. And to keep the curse alive, a child had to die in the house every generation. That is why the rent was so cheap. That is why the house was still here. And now Milo was next. Paranormal attacks. The paranormal activity increases. Clocks stop at 3:15 every night. Shadows crawl across walls. Amara sees her reflection whispering to her in the mirror. Milo begins drawing disturbing images. Himself hanging from the staircase, a black robed woman behind him. One night, Milo disappeared from his bed. Amara searches the entire house, screaming his name. She hears a scream from the basement, a place she never opened. The door is open now. The sacrifice and the bargain. In the basement, she finds a circle drawn in the blood. Candles still burning, and Milo standing in the center. Above him floats the ghost of Eliza Moran, mouth sewn shut, eyes hollow, her shadowy hands reaching towards him. Amara rushes into the circle without thinking. Every candle bursts into flame. A voice not from Eliza, but from the house itself enters Amara's head. One must stay, one must roar, the blood must be. Amara shaking whispers, take means steed. The spirit hesitates. For the first time, it screams in defiance, trying to snatch Milo away. But Amara holds him, recites a prayer her mother taught her, and set fire to the journal. The spirit dissolves in flame, streaking the house begins in collapse. Escape and epilogue. Amara escapes the burning house. Holding Milo, they make it to the road before the house. Implodes into the ground, swallowed by the very land it cursed. 3 months later, Amara sits in a hospital room, pale and quiet. Doctors say she speaks to herself at night. Milo visits her every week. He says she served him. But when Amara looks into his eyes now, she sometimes sees Eliza's stitched mouth behind his smile.